Hi, I welcome everyone for one more session of chemistry. In today's session, we will see the classification of carbon atom. Right? So already we are in organic chemistry. So therefore, classification of carbon atom also takes a very important part. Right? So therefore, till now in organic chemistry, we saw the IUPAC nomenclature. And in the first class of organic chemistry, we saw about the carbon atom, about its valency, and then the types of reaction, type of cleavages, how the cleavage takes place in the organic chemistry. Till now, we had everything. From today's class on, we will see some deepness of the chemistry. That means related to some of the part which are very important and related to your syllabus, right? So that's why today I took a topic called classification of carbon atom for this session. So before going to the classification of carbon atom in organic chemistry, it is very important to understand the two main things, right? So what are those means? Alkyls, alkyl groups. So what are these alkyl groups and how these alkyl groups are produced when a carbon atom or a compound is called alkyl, right? So we will see first this and later we will go for the halogens. So guys, in organic chemistry, alkyl groups and the halogen groups are very important. Why? Because in reactions we always use, instead of CH3 or CH2, we use or we represent this directly with R group. So that's why to understand this, alkyl group, we need to have a good what basic things. So that's why see here today I will start this classification with the alkyl groups. See, so when a carbon is having a four hydrogen atom with it, then it is called a alkane, right? Very simple, you all know. See, now question arises, what happens when if I remove one hydrogen from this methane, right? Alkane is nothing but methane. See, right? Methane. Just observe the similarities. Generally, we call these as alkane, and actual name is methane, right? So, if I remove one hydrogen, right? If I remove one hydrogen, then now the compound becomes CH3. That means from here I have removed one hydrogen. So now the number of hydrogen atoms on this particular atom will be only 3. So thus CH3. Now I cannot call this CH3 as alkane, right? So it must and should have a different name. So that's why whenever there is a one less hydrogen in the around the carbon atom, then the name becomes, see, very important and very easy. Now alkyl, or because of presence of only one carbon means meth. Instead of ane, before when there is a four hydrogen atoms around the carbon atom, what we added ane. But whenever there is a one less hydrogen around the carbon atom, then see the difference, very important. We have added YLE. So that means here also I should add YLE, that is methyl. or alkyl groups. Very important. See, I will show one more. C2H6. There are two C. That means what is the name? Ethane, right? So like this, CH3, CH3, right? Like this, C2HR6, 3 plus 3, 6. That means ethane. There is a single bond in between. So that's why directly we can call it as ethane. So now ethane. Again, the same process you take it. I mean, if I remove again one hydrogen atom, then the C2H6 becomes C2H5. Now, ethane becomes, I should replace this ANE with what? YL. That means ethane becomes ethyl. Very simple, right? So these groups are these, I mean, if I remove one hydrogen from the alkanes, it may be a methane, alkane like methane, ethane, propane, butane, hexane, heptane, till decane you can extend, right? But from the original alkane, if we remove one hydrogen atom, then definitely the name will end with the suffix called YL. And these groups are called as alkyl groups. And these alkyl groups are represented by a letter. See, very important. So, one less hydrogen carbons are called as alkyl groups, and these alkyl groups can be denoted by a letter capital R. So, capital R may be, that means if there is a capital R in the compound, then directly we must and should understand either it may be a CH3, that means alkyls like just now we saw alkyls like CH3, you reduce one hydrogen, C2H5, C3H8 actually, but remove one hydrogen, C3H7, like so R may be CH3, R may be C2H5, R may be C3H7. So such groups are called as, or such compounds are called as alkyl groups or alkyl compounds, where there is a one hydrogen less than the alkanes. Very important, right? So, and these groups are represented by R. So, why I am telling this before starting the classification? In classification, we require this as very important part, right? So, try to follow this class. Very easy and very important, but basic things are very important to understand. This is all about alkyl groups. And what I said, I will explain one more term, that is halogens. So in the last videos, I mean, in the last sessions, somewhere I have explained the halogen group. That means these halogens are represented with the letter X, and this X may be fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, or astatine. Okay. So astatine is very rare element. That means it will not present in more percentage in our earth crust or in our atmosphere. So that's why it will very rarely undergo into the reaction. Sometimes we won't consider this as, I mean, we will not show this in the halogens. But these four halogens are very important. See, alkyl group and halogens. Halogens are, I mean, these are the p block elements. Already we saw fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. This is the one group which is called halogen. And wherever there is a X present in the organic compound, then you must and should understood that it may be X may be of type fluorine or chlorine or bromine or iodine, right? So these two terms, that means alkyl group and the halogen groups, are very important during the organic chemistry or or during organic reactions. So now coming to the main topic of today's topic, that is classification of carbon. Classification of carbon. So in how to classify the carbon atoms, right? Carbon atom. Why? Because we are studying organic chemistry, means we have to have a good idea about the carbon. So now carbon can be classified into four types. Number one, primary carbon. Number two, secondary. Number three, tertiary. And finally, the number four, quaternary carbon. Right? So these are the four different type of carbon atoms. I mean, these many types we can classify a carbon atom. So first one, primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. That means what is primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary? These are very easy. So just have a look. I mean, these things are very easy. See, primary carbon atom. So primary means based on what we are saying, this type of carbon as a primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. See. So around carbon atom, always we see the four different type of bonds. Either the bond with the hydrogen or with the halogens or with the alkyl groups or with any chemical compound, right, or chemical species. So now see, this is a common methane group. I mean methane compound, right? So this is common methane. If I remove one hydrogen from the methane and if I introduce a alkyl group, very important, in place of one hydrogen atom, if I introduce one alkyl group around this carbon atom, then this particular carbon atom is called as primary carbon atom. Based on what we are deciding whether the primary or secondary, based on the number of alkyl groups, right? Very important. This R may be again CH3 or C2H5 or C3H7 or C4H9, right? So etc. etc. Like you can add instead of R. I will show in case of example. This is the general form. So primary means if a one alkyl group is attached around the carbon atom, if one alkyl group attached around the carbon atom, then it is called as primary carbon atom, right? Based on what we are classifying, based on what? Alkyl group. So that's why alkyl groups are very important. So if there is a one alkyl group, then it is called a primary alkyl group. See, with respect to this carbon atom, we have one alkyl group around it. So that's why what should I call? I call a primary carbon compound, right? Or this carbon is primary carbon, we can say. So example we can write for this same, this is the general formula. Example for this, see, we have three different type of geometries, I mean structures we can write in the organic chemistry. So that's why general structure and examples are very important. We have to make some differences between, we must and should able to make a difference between general form and the example form. So alkyl group, instead of R, what I can write, right? Instead of R, I can write CH3, C2H by any alkyl groups. I mean example form. So take CH3, right? H, H, H are as it is. H, 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 right? If around a carbon atom, a alkyl group is present, one alkyl group is present, then it is called as primary carbon atom. Or it may be not only CH3, or it may be a C2H5, C3H7, C4H9, C5H11, C6H13, C7H50, like whatever it may be. But there should be a one alkyl group around the carbon atom. If there is a one alkyl group around the carbon atom, then definitely it is called as a primary carbon atom. Understood? Okay. Very easy. So now secondary carbon atom. See, number 2, secondary carbon. So in secondary carbon, what is the difference between primary and secondary? One we can know after seeing this diagram. If same example I will take, so around the carbon again, always there is a presence of four bonds of same atom or different atom. It depends. See, around the carbon atom, if there are two alkyl groups are present, see again, based on what we are classifying the carbon atom, based on alkyl groups. If two alkyl groups are present around the carbon atom, around the single, I mean center carbon atom, then this type of carbons are called as secondary carbon atoms, right? So in primary, what we saw only one R, that means alkyl group. But here, in case of secondary, what we are observing is there are two alkyl groups. In the example form, we can write like this. Example. So now C, central C, CH3, or else you can say C2H5. Different alkyl groups can also, you can also write, right? No problem with that. If one R is methyl, means other R will be C2H5, or sometimes they may be same, whatever it may be. I mean, that group, what you are going to introduce, that should be one hydrogen less than alkane. In the starting, I said, I have already explained to you that when you call a particular group as an alkyl, when there is a one hydrogen less as compared to the alkane. So you make one hydrogen less, then it automatically becomes alkyl groups. So here the alkyl group you can represent with the same alkyl group or with the different alkyl group, or you for both you can say C2H5 only, no problem, right? But it should be a alkyl group. If there are two alkyl groups are present around the carbon atom, a particular carbon atom, then it is called a secondary carbon atom, right? Or secondary carbon. Based on what? Again, based on the alkyl groups. So third one is tertiary carbon atom. Third one is tertiary carbon atom. Or tertiary carbon. So tertiary carbon means what? Here in tertiary carbon atom, so in secondary, what we saw, now you can easily explain. Primary means one alkyl group, secondary means two alkyl group. What about tertiary? You replace one more hydrogen around this carbon, it becomes what? Tertiary carbon atom. Why? Because with respect to this carbon atom, around this there are three alkyl groups. So that's why one we can call this example as, or this carbon as tertiary carbon, right? Why? Because there is a presence of three alkyl groups around this carbon atom, right? So example, you can see C CH3 CH3 CH3H. So there are three alkyl groups. So that's why one we can say this as a tertiary carbon, and this is also a general form of tertiary, and this is the example form. So again I repeat, here you can take alkyl group as CH3, C2H5, whatever it may be, right? So you take same or you take different. Here if you take CH3 means you take here you take C2H5, or here C3H7, you can take like this also. But ultimately that should be a alkyl group. So if a carbon atom is surrounded by three alkyl groups, then it is called a tertiary type of carbon atom, right? And finally, the last part of this session is quaternary. Quaternary carbon. So in case of tertiary, what we saw, we have replaced three hydrogen with the alkyl groups. Now, in case of quaternary, remove all hydrogen with alkyl groups. That means if a carbon atom is surrounded with four alkyl groups like this, then that particular carbon is called as quaternary carbon. Then that particular carbon is called as quaternary carbon, right? So what is the difference? Here all the hydrogens we have removed, and in place of hydrogen we have replaced those hydrogens with the alkyl groups. And now here in case of quaternary, what we are seeing around the carbon atom all are alkyl groups. If such condition arises, then that particular carbon atom is called as a quaternary carbon atom. So example we can see again, carbon CH3, CH3, all you replace with the your favorite alkyl. You can take any alkyl. Again, right? So if a single, that means the center carbon atom is surrounded with, right? Surrounded with only alkyl groups. I mean, they are replaced with the R group. That means hydrogens are replaced with the R group. Then this type of carbon is called as quaternary carbon atom. So, guys, this is all about today's class. It is very easy, and some of you can think that why sir has took this topic for the online session. But guys, this part is actually very easy. But when you actually see the organic compounds, then it is very difficult to identify whether the carbon is primary, secondary, or tertiary. So that's why I took this for you to check the different primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary and tertiary type of carbon atom in your book. So that's why, guys, go through it. Don't stop your vocabulary. Fill your vocabulary with number of different ideas of chemistry, right? So my duty is to make you a chemist. A good chemistry student, right? So that's why whatever I take, in the online session, don't restrict that part just like till my explanation. You exceed your reading so that you can come to know different examples. Different examples if you see, then definitely doubt will come, And always, as I said, doubts are always welcome. You can ask doubt at any time. So this is all about today's session. In the tomorrow's session, in the next class, we will have the continuation part of it. Thank you.